we will start the meeting. Since it's 6:29, by the time we finish the pledge, we'll be on time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with department head updates.
Yep,
We have
go with that.
Ryan Patno, transfer station.
Not much going on at the transfer station. The markets are slowly going down, which is expected this time of year. This month, fibers went down $10 a ton, which is the first time since last fall. So I expect it to drop the next couple months and kind of stay level for a while. Should come back a little bit next spring. And that's pretty much across the board for all fibers, plastics, metals, stuff like that. Besides that, it's just been running smoothly, trying to get ready for winter.
Tim?
We're busier than all the takeout. Still down on employees, but we're slowly getting back to where we need to be. The new cruiser has been finally lettered. I picked it up this afternoon, so hopefully by the end of the week that'll be roadworthy. We are looking to hopefully sell the other cruiser, the 2017 oldest one, as a whole unit. We participated in a stuffer cruiser for partnership with Shaw's Saturday for Project Homebound. I think they gathered somewhere in around of $700 in cash, a whole lot of food. It was a good 4-hour donation time for that. That's business as usual.
That's this weekend.
I'm sorry?
That's this weekend.
It is, yes.
Thanks, Tim. Ted?
Chief one's on vacation, so I'm doing both fire and health. The last week or so has not been very busy. We had one really busy stretch last Wednesday to Thursday. We had 7 long distance trips in about 26 hours. Other than that, the COVID numbers are up, so hospitalizations are up, beds are tight, it's hard to move people. You've got people having heart attacks waiting a couple days to go anywhere. So it's just a little bit tight. We're getting our budget ready for Wednesday. Obviously, we've got the rough skeleton done. We've got most of our numbers in place, so we're just doing the final touches for that for Wednesday. We're going to most likely start doing booster shots for COVID the next 4 Fridays. So for those people that have not gotten their booster yet, that we did their original shots for, we'll be able to do their boosters as well. That's more just to kind of help out drive the booster initiative. That'll hopefully be on Facebook tomorrow. Other than that, there really is not much else other than normal operations going on.
Thanks, Ted. Barbara?
Not too many changes. We are about to hire Lufkin to put in a security system for the library. We do not have anything at this point. And with some things that have happened this year, it seems to be the time that we need to do that. So that's really the only change.
That's fine. Any questions? I know Tim wanted to stick around while we discussed the sale of the cruiser. I don't know if Brian wanted to stick around for the Holland bid opening. Ted and Barbara, you're free to go. But yeah.
Just the one question for the ambulance there. How are we doing as far as exposure on personnel?
We've actually done very good. To this point, we have not actually had any staff that has come back positive at any point. I believe we still have only had one person since the start of the pandemic that was out. The crews have done a pretty good job of fleecing themselves. I mean, we've been pretty aggressive about, since essentially September 1st after the fair, they've been back in their N95s and eye protections on every call. So they've done well there. They're still doing a good job, masking people that get into the ambulance. So overall, we've been pretty lucky. We also don't have any issues with vaccinations. So all the staff have had no objection to being vaccinated, and most of them have pursued their own booster shots. They've been aggressive about keeping up to date on what they need to do. So we've been very, very lucky. We've definitely had a number of exposures, and we've definitely had exposures that we were not expecting to be, and still been in the right place at the right time with the right gear.
Excellent. We're doing fine on PPE and stuff at this point?
Yeah, we're still doing good. I mean, Chief Flynn has been very aggressive about going to the state to get your, whatever they have to pass out or not. Buying those Envo masks early in the pandemic, the reusable N95s, that's been a pretty big steadfast. So that all has been held pretty tight at this point. It's been pretty good. The biggest thing with PPE right now is quality. You get some stuff that you probably, will work as a mask, but I wouldn't call it an N95 mask. So we've kind of parsed out the good stuff. We try to keep the good stuff off to the side for the calls that we know we are going to engage in COVID. Within the calls, we're just kind of running around town doing X, Y, and Z. We try to use the stuff that might be a little bit less quality. The other benefit is, like, when we go to the hospital, we take a COVID patient that's on a ventilator. The hospitals are letting us use their air hoods. So we're doing those long distance transfers. Someone on the ventilator, we're actually in a positive pressure head gear. So that also adds a layer of flexibility in the back. It's just as safe, but in terms of comfort, at 2.5 hours to mass gen, it makes a huge difference.
Thank you.
I guess to that point, to bring up, I was going to bring it up later on down the line. Just to let you guys know, the hospital did reach out to me and asked if the town was considering enacting a mask mandate. And I did tell him that I could tell the hospital that I would broach that subject with you. I know in the past, last year, it was something that we weren't necessarily thinking of doing. A lot of it was because of enforcement of it. How are we going to enforce it? Who's going to enforce it? What is the enforcement mechanism per se? So that being said, I know it's registered that there's 38 positive cases currently right now in Lancaster. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, my thoughts are the same. I highly recommend people that are vulnerable to wear the mask. Depending on where I am, I often wear mine. But to actually enforce a mask mandate, it might sound good. Okay, you got to, again, who's going to enforce it? I don't think we want our local police department walking around Shaw's forcing people to put a mask on.
And in adding to that is, when we first went into this pandemic, the Attorney General's office and the Governor's office mandated all these, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. But they didn't give us any, if you don't do this, what are we gonna do? So I think it would be very hard for any law enforcement agency to actually enforce that with nothing to back it up with. $20 fine, that doesn't seem feasible for not wearing a mask. So I think that you're right on spot with that. If they want to wear them, they should. If they don't want to wear them, well, that's an inherent risk that they're taking.
I mean, I think we can do as much as we can to highly encourage people to wear them around town. But as far as making a mandate, I just don't see how we enforce it, or actually, the way HIPAA laws are, you can't go up and say, you got to put a mask on. They say, well, I've got a medical condition. You can't ask them what it is. It's kind of ridiculous. But I just find it just completely unenforceable. But we should encourage mask wearing.
Would the select board consider making a public statement encouraging the use of masks? I mean, I think people respect you and listen to what you do.
I've got no problem with that if the other two don't. I mean, as I'm saying here now, I highly encourage people, especially if they're vulnerable,
Sure.
is to wear the mask. So we can probably work something.
I can write something up and yeah.
Would that be something you'd make a motion on and recommend it?
I don't know if we need to do that.
The
I just will have Ben come up with a statement. We'll all read it over, and I don't know if we can do something in the local paper and with all our names underneath it, and highly encourage people.
I would encourage, unvaccinated people, if they're indoors, we can't enforce, but must wear a mask, but it's hard to enforce that. But unvaccinated people, because right now, they're the ones getting sick.
Yeah. No, I'll put something together.
Okay.
All right, so if we can move on to the quick topic of the sale of the police cruiser. Thanks, Teddy. So when we got our last cruiser to get rid of the previous one, the older one, we sold it outright, all outfitted to the town of Dalton for $5,000. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, Tim. It went with everything that was in it, and the idea was that if we stripped all the police paraphernalia and equipment out of it, we'd probably only get $500 for the vehicle, that's kind of what we averaged over the last several years with selling the cruisers. We have a similar potential to sell to Essex County Sheriff's Office for the same. Well, it sounds like $5,000 would be the agreed upon price. Basically, we just give them the keys and they take it and it's done. Well, we take our lettering off, obviously. And I guess we're looking for your concurrence on that's as opposed to stripping it out, because there's not many police departments in the area that would take a used cruiser. So if we didn't go that route, we'd strip it out and then put it up for bid. And then most of the equipment in there is obsolete. It doesn't fit the cruisers we have now, so we wouldn't be utilizing it anyways. So it goes to benefit another law enforcement department and community as well. And Tim, if you want to add anything.
If we strip it out, we're gonna have a box full of stuff that's gonna collect dust that is really gonna have no meaning to anything. So it's nice to actually see it go out to another agency that doesn't need to have it, like we have to have it on the road 24/7. You know, they use them for transport, so they use them for whatever they do, but they're not a frontline vehicle, if you will.
Entertain a motion.
How do you want that worded?
Basically,
I make a motion that we sell the cruiser for $5,000
I make a motion that we sell the cruiser for $5,000
I'd say to a law enforcement.
To another
to a law
enforcement agency. Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
The motion is second to sell the 2017 cruiser to another law enforcement agency for, I'll say, no less than $5,000.
Just for clarification, we do have two 2017 cruisers. One of them is white, one of them is black. This is the white oldest one that we have.
Okay.
Being politically correct there. No. So it'll be the white 2017. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and hopefully they will get good use out of it.
If for some reason they don't, because we haven't firmed up exactly that they will buy, but if for some reason they back out or they say, well, geez, we'll only do 4,500, we obviously would come back and explain that to you. But we just felt if we can move ahead quickly and get rid of it now so it's not taking up real estate while it snows.
Well, we don't need it sitting around for 6 months either.
Like all the other stuff we've got to review, yeah. Thank you, Tim, appreciate it. Second item is, so the hauling bids, we'll do that and then we'll go back to old business. So we have two bids for transfer station hauling. One is from Beatty Enterprises.
I'd like to recuse myself.
Leon, do you want me to open it and read anything off to you? Do you
Yeah,
want?
no, you can, okay.
So Beatty Enterprises, in accordance with your recent invitation for proposal, Beatty Enterprises wishes to bid on hauling the town's trash to Mount Carberry Landfill, Berlin. We would propose the following. First contract period, which is the calendar year 2022, would be $275 per trip. Excuse me. Second contract period, which is calendar year 2023, $285 per trip. Third contract period, which is calendar year 2024, would be $295 per trip. Anything else?
Third gear didn't drop this time?
Usually up $2 a gallon.
Yeah.
Armando Trucking. So, payment MSW and C&D rate schedule per load to Mount Carberry, single load. Calendar year 2022 would be 360. Calendar year 2023 would be 371. Calendar year 2024 would be 382.
And those are the two bids?
Those are the two bids. Brian, do you have anything to add or ask on any of that?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. I know we've been very happy with Beatty's.
Good answer.
The,
Got my brown nose on right now.
given the prices that have been stated, I will make a motion to accept the bid from Beatty Enterprises for the trash hauling for the next 3 years.
I will second the motion for Beatty Enterprises for 3 years.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And one recusal, the ayes have it.
Thank you. Brian, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Shane's back on?
Yep.
All right, very good. All right, we have no appointments. Next thing we have is review and approval of the November 1st, 2021 meeting minutes. You guys all got a chance to look at those?
Second page.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to accept the minutes from the November 1st, 2021 meeting. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it.
All right. So there's no paperwork to sign.
Yay.
So we'll move on to new business, which we have equipment bids opening. So we'll start off, we had 6 pieces of equipment that we were, other than the cruiser, that we advertised for bid. One is our sewer machine. It's a 94. We got 1 bid on that. We had an Eager Beaver roller. It's an old material roller. I don't know where we got it, but it's old and
It's old.
not really. It's not the safest to operate, which is why we don't use it. We got 1 bid on that, so I will go with those first. Make sure.
One hell of a junkyard.
Well, yeah, so, yeah, part of that bid is you got a week to get rid of it. So we have,
Is this the sewer machine?
this is the sewer machine.
Okay.
So Tim Bilodeau, I'm sorry, or A1 Waste Services of New Hampshire, 60 Brown Road.
Bilodeau,
Yeah, he
and
bid
he's called himself
A1 Water Services of New Hampshire. He's got worse writing than me.
Oh, yeah.
He bid $1,001 for the sewer machine. It's a pretty good price. So that's the only bid on that. You can either choose to accept it or
That
refuse it.
was in the paper.
That was in the paper for a
How
week
much
and
was
a
that,
half.
1,000?
$1,001.
Thoughts? Questions?
No?
We do each one separate, each bid?
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
have to make a motion.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid. From A1 Water Services.
Okay.
I'll
Second.
second it.
The motion and a second to accept the bid for the sewer machine from A1 Water Services of New Hampshire for $1,001. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it.
Beaver roller.
And the Eager Beaver roller is next. A1 Water Services of New Hampshire bid $50 for that machine.
Oh, A1 Water Services again.
Again, yeah. And mind you, we don't use it. It just has been sitting up at the
Say, when's the
Sand
last
pit.
time that thing's even
He
moved?
did what?
$50.
Thank you.
When's the last time it's even moved?
I didn't even know we had it.
It's up by the old,
The sand pit, I think. It's a chain-driven roller, and you don't really want to, you get a chain-driven roller and exposed stuff. You don't want to get caught in that. So it's a hazard for us to even have it.
Make a motion.
It cost us more money to haul it away somewhere.
I make a motion that we sell the Eager Beaver roller to A1 Water Services for $50.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to sell the Eager Beaver roller to A1 Water Services of New Hampshire for $50. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is open bids for a 2011 Ford E450 ambulance. This one is considered a parts ambulance because it doesn't run, and we've actually kind of stolen parts off it over the last year plus to fix up other stuff, other ambulances we had. So we have one bid. Forbes Farm bids $855
Forbes.
for the parts ambulance.
$855, yep.
Huh?
$855.
$855.
And it makes a both bids.
And Craig Colby, is there a Craig Colby? 97 Mallet Road, bids $252 for the parts ambulance. So $855 versus I gotta double check that. $252.
Was the 855, I was questioning.
No,
You sure it was not a dollar sign, it was actually an 8?
Oh, there's a dollar sign and then the
I just checking.
We have robbed quite a few parts off it.
Were people allowed to look at this?
Yeah, there was contact information. Randy was the and he said he got calls from people, and yeah, they were all.
I make a motion to sell the ambulance E4?
E450 ambulance, parts ambulance.
50 parts.
Yeah.
To Forbes Farm for $855.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second to sell the 2011 E450 Ford ambulance to the Ford Farm for their bid of $855. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Let's get it out of there real quick.
Yeah. All right, next one, we have another 2011 Ford E450 ambulance. This one is not considered a parts ambulance. It runs, not very fast. Forbes Farm again, $1,855. I wonder if there's gonna be $855 in any of the other bids they got. And then this, I believe, is Craig Colby as well. Craig Colby bids $852.
What's with the 52?
To get that.
His lucky number?
I don't know. So 1855, versus 852.
I'll make a motion for the 2011 450 whole ambulance for the bid from Forbes Farm of $1,855.
I'll second
I've got a motion and a second to sell the other 2011 E450 ambulance for $1,855 to the Forbes Farm.
It's for everything.
Any further discussion?
I know.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Next one is the 2010 Ford E350 van ambulance. This is the other two were box trucks. This is the van. Forbes Farm bids $930. They broke the street, 55 Street. So $930 Forbes Farm for the E350 van. And Craig Colby bids $452.
Loves the 52.
I don't know, maybe is his address 52 something? Lucky number. Played on Powerball, Murder.
Huh?
I make a motion to sell the 2010 van E350 to Forbes Farm for $930.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second to sell the 2010 E350 van ambulance to the Forbes Farm for $930. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Last one. The 2013 Ford Taurus sedan, this was an old cruiser that we've used, well, we've had available as a town car for many years, but it wasn't ideal for that. So we're gonna get rid of that. What? Well,
Nothing.
you're gonna miss it? You upset?
No, I was just shaking my head. It wasn't.
Shaggin' wagon?
Yeah.
2013 Ford Taurus sedan, Forbes Farms, or Scott Forbes this time, I'm sorry.
Oh, Scott Ford?
Scott Forbes,
Okay.
$1,780. Scott Forbes.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, let me guess, Craig Colby. Craig Colby, $1,252
$52.
to Craig Colby. Yeah, so $1,780 for Scott Forbes and Craig Colby, $1,252.
I'll make a motion to sell the 2013 Taurus to Scott Forbes for $1,780.
I'll second that. Got a motion and a second to sell the 2013 Ford Taurus sedan to Scott Forbes for $1,780. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
All right, good. So we'll notify them tomorrow. It's good. I only have to notify 2 people. That's good. And they'll have a week to get rid of this, get it off our property. So, thank you. Moving on, next new business item, kind of new business, old business. Now that we've kind of taken care of the ownership and whatever the situation is at the lagoons as far as who owns what and who can make the decisions for any of the remaining land, that it's been determined that it's our responsibility and it's ours. I've been asked by a few of the people that were at the previous meeting this summer when you shut down the lagoons if there's the opportunity to now open it back up for bird watching in some capacity. I did reach out to some of the people, I'm going to call them the bird watchers and not only because I can't remember who gave it to me, and there's a bunch of them interested. There's the statute 501.14, which is landowner liability. It's the statute that's similar to what people that open up their land for snow machining do, or for public access, public use, where they're not held liable if they open up the land without charge. They're not held liable for any if there's any injuries to people on that property. So in essence, I passed this by our town attorney, John Frizzell, and he said as long as you don't require them to do anything like pick up garbage or anything like that, the town would be covered under this statute. So if they were to trip and fall and hurt themselves, it's not basically our responsibility.
Okay.
And well, I only bring this up only as a point of reference that people are asking me to bring it back to you guys. It's nothing, I'm not asking you to make a decision tonight, but to maybe give me some direction on what you want to do next.
Clear, they want to get back in and around the lagoons themselves.
Right.
And the town attorney was clear that
We're not liable.
that's what they were talking about.
Right, yeah, I told him going inside the lagoons, in the lagoon, the fenced area, and he said yes. And again, it's not, I didn't bring it up in so much as to have a specific conversation about it and a decision being made, only to see what the next step is. Because I know that there was discussion at that meeting when you voted to basically shut it down, that at least what I got out of it was if there's some way that we can minimize or eliminate liability on the town, you guys would reconsider.
Yeah, and I believe that was the concern, was just our liability at that time.
So, yeah. So that being said, if it's something that we could bring up at a later date, or you want to kind of see if there's any, maybe you want to decide now. I don't know. I don't care. Or you want to I can talk with Tim Bilodeau and see if there's some reasonable concessions, precautions, maybe signs put up along the way that kind of say don't go swimming in the ponds.
Don't jump in the
It could be as simple as just putting up a sign, enter at your own risk.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing. It
Or
kind of sounds like we're covered already.
Basically no vehicles inside the gates, stay on the pathways, something like that.
Yeah.
Please wipe your feet.
Yeah.
I've had this discussion with Ben. I feel that the lagoons is not a place for people to go to. There was a fence put up around it for a reason. It's just not a place for, for regular people to be around. I just don't, I can't agree with that, I guess. It's going against common sense. I mean, there's water there, how do you keep the kids out if you keep it open? How do you police that?
Why did we put a fence up to begin with?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Another item is the solar panels are on the inside of that fence.
Yeah, so they're not.
They are not to be out in the public's reach.
Yeah.
So how can you let anybody inside that fence?
Right.
If you're gonna be that way, you might as well tear the fence down. And what's gonna stop a child from falling in there?
Well, that's my,
We have an ordinance in this town that says if you have a swimming pool, in-ground swimming pool, you will fence it from neighborhood children falling in and drowning.
I don't think we have an ordinance that says that. I don't think we have an ordinance that says
No.
that. I think insurance companies.
probably
require that.
insurance
Insurance
companies.
companies
Sound
require that.
Well, every time I got involved in an in-ground pool, there was a thing that said, hey, you gotta have a fence.
Yeah, we have
Certainly,
nothing.
we have an insurance company with the town.
Yeah.
I think that the liability of a child falling in there and drowning is too great.
The deal is they want to watch birds, right?
Right.
So we've got an observation platform up there at Mount Prospect for watching the eagle flyways and stuff. Maybe Audubon Society or something would consider building a tower outside of the fence. Would that be something to consider?
The thing is with these lagoons, it's around the state. These lagoons attract certain types of birds. And these people have an organization statewide that they go to these lagoons to see these different types of birds that like to hang out in a lousy situation, say it the nice way. So that's why they do. They come, people, that's their hobby.
Yeah, maybe there's foundation money to build an observation platform or something outside the fence and everyone could watch the birds and no one could go swimming.
So is it your opinion that we wasted our money building that chain link fence? Right?
No, I'm just saying that's, this was what I learned
Have the
about.
fence there and maintaining it, if we're gonna leave the gate open. There's no sense in it.
So again, I didn't bring it up for necessarily
Let's
for
get into it.
public, I didn't bring it up for public discussion. I brought it up for you guys to know that it's being asked. There is a mechanism in place that minimizes or eliminates liability, and I need to know your next steps. If you want to make a decision tonight, that's fine. If you want to advertise a public hearing.
Bird watching start again.
Oh, I don't
Do they do it in the wintertime?
Oh, I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
I got my bird feeders out.
Have mine out.
Yeah. Good points on both sides.
There is.
I mean, but the fact is, there hasn't been a gate there for, how many years?
Apparently for quite a while.
There hadn't been, right, since I've been here,
So,
12 years.
I think we ought to take it under advisement and decide either at the next meeting or the meeting after. And I'll do some research and get a better understanding of it. But one of the big issues was the liability.
Right.
Did not want the liability if we could. So, is everyone agreeable to that? Either
Yeah.
next month or the month after?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay.
sounds
It'll be
good.
fun.
I guess this is a time for other business. I just wanted to bring to your attention, we received a letter, actually I got it today, from Sergeant Glenn Lucas, Conservation Officer with the New Hampshire Fish and Game. It was a letter of appreciation, and I'll read it to you if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
It's addressed to Lancaster town officials, to myself, to Randy, Chief Randy Flynn, Chief Tim Charbonneau, town office, blah, 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 whatever. Letter of appreciation. Dear gentlemen, I am writing to express my gratitude and extend my sincere thanks for your continued support of the New Hampshire Fish and Game Law Enforcement Division's dive team, most recently during our dive missions on the Connecticut River in Lancaster. Excuse me. The Lancaster Fire Department assisted our divers by loaning us various tools and resources, as well as providing manpower to support and accomplish our mission. Nick Blodgett, he's one of our EMTs. Nick Blodgett worked alongside our team on the shore and assisted in everything from bringing gear to and from our dive trailer to making sure we had food and water throughout the day. Kevin Whiting, who is one of our assistant chiefs, and he works for the Forest and Lands, gave a day of his own time and helped us with a water pump that was needed in order to accomplish the recovery of Alberta Lehman's remains. And those of you that are kind of curious about this, this was the car they found this summer on the Connecticut that recovered the remains of the woman who went missing, I believe, from Gorham like 20, 30 years ago. It is my understanding that the fire department graciously ordered and donated pizzas and water for all personnel on the first day's dive mission as well. This was humbly accepted and much appreciated. Throughout these missions, the Lancaster Police Department was very cooperative in assisting us with traffic control, scene management, and anything else that was requested. Chief Charbonneau was very helpful in communication with the state of Vermont and also assisted the team with anything that was needed. I know this may seem to be all in a day's work, but these are examples of Lancaster's local government doing an exemplary job that needs to be recognized. Cooperation and professionalism like the actions shown above are what we need more of in law enforcement and fire service. Lancaster set the standard, and it is appreciated. Thank you for all your time, effort, and professionalism. Sincerely, Glenn Lucas, Conservation Officer Sergeant. So I thought that was very nice for somebody to take the time to write that. It was a very nicely written letter, to take the time to do it and say,
That been forwarded to the different department heads too?
I think Chief Charbonneau said he got one. I haven't seen Randy, Chief Flynn, because he's on vacation. But it sounds like that they were each provided a copy of this, but I'm making sure that each get a copy of it. So I just want to make sure you guys know what, I mean, you guys do, I know you do, but make sure you understand that it's reflective in the community as well, and higher levels of law enforcement and public safety. So I was pretty impressed and happy to hear that. Other than that, just for information, there's a few building permits and a sign permit. Bert DeRoche's, just a renewal of his permit for 135. He constructing a garage. He has a little bit more to do on that. He's not completed yet. Zena Schmidt on 260 North Road. She's constructing a 6-foot by 30-foot addition on a concrete foundation off her existing kitchen to expand the room and space, and also do some plumbing and electrical upgrades to a laundry and a half bath. Richard and Ellen Romines, this is also a renewal for 196 Garland Road. Construct a 40 by 54 foot 3-bedroom single-family log home on foundation. And then there's a signed permit for a Justin Roy. He's the one that opened up the what the heck's it called? The Smoker's Den at the old truck stop across from Shane's house.
What is he doing in there? Just a restaurant or?
No, it's a vape store.
It's a vape store?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, well.
And I don't think there's anything else I got. Just a reminder about Wednesday. I know, Leon, you might not be able to make a lot of it because you're strapped for staff. Yeah, but take all the time you can get from it. I'll let you know when lunch is coming.
Yeah. Jeez, here we go.
Well, what's the threshold's still $3,500 for a building permit?
Yes, materials is what I go by, yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is the Episcopal Church came in for a building permit here a while ago. They put up a little plastic shed that certainly didn't cost $3,500. If we take advantage of them by taking their money for that building permit, I don't think the permit was necessary for that shed.
Well, any time you change the footprint of your property. So that shed changed the footprint. So it's $35 or.
$3,500.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, 35.
I guess what I'm thinking is that the town took advantage of them by asking for a building permit for that
Well,
temporary little shed.
it's changing the footprint of the property, Alan. I can't, You were on the zoning board when that's been in there since you've been on the zoning
I
board.
I don't recall it reading that way, the intent of that to be that way. It was any structure or any addition under 3,500 didn't need a road permit.
So that means that the
So
local
it's on the
land,
property
the local
line.
land use professional doesn't need to review an addition to a home if the cost, or any work, if it's under $3,500, somebody could put it right on the property line.
Yeah, yeah. No, you still, that's still, the property lines still go for it.
But you don't know, I wouldn't know whether they're gonna meet the setbacks unless they issue a building permit.
Yes, the neighbors would turn them in.
Yeah.
Then, by that time, it could be a little bit too late. And that's only if the neighbors know where the property
Right on
line
Main
is.
Street. The thing's probably too close to the sidewalk, but what I'm.
No, it's not.
I'm just
They
thinking
measure.
that.
Well, with the current prices of building materials, I don't know if $3,500 is enough.
There's two 2x4s and a bag of nails, right?
Well, when
but-
you look at that building, it certainly.
No,
It didn't come to.
And I don't think we even charge them, to be honest with you.
Well, I hope we didn't.
And
That's
if we
my
did, it was
point. I
10
hope we
bucks.
didn't. But I think someone should have said, you don't need one.
Well, but you do need one.
Yeah, oh, come on, we're getting to be big city now.
It's always been that way. It's been that way since I've been here, and it was like that before,
Yes.
because I didn't
It's
change
been that
those
way
rules before I was
It's
here.
been that way since I've been
Rob?
here.
I'm being recognized by the chair here.
I'm sorry.
I had two things I wanted to ask about. We're talking about stripping the cruiser and cluttering up with excess equipment. It made me think about, wasn't there like $1.5 million worth of radio and dispatch equipment at the dispatch that was decommissioned when we went to Grafton County?
No.
What's the disposition of that material?
It wasn't decommissioned, it's still in use. It's being used by Grafton County. That $1.5 million, most of it is on towers.
Okay.
And that's going to be, so that was all paid for by a grant from the state of New Hampshire. And we're working with the state of New Hampshire and Grafton County to see about basically transferring ownership to Grafton County so they can deal with the maintenance of it.
So would we put it out for bid, and could someone bid on it, or?
No, because it would only be, it's because it was funded by a grant from the state of New Hampshire. It could only go to an organization that will use that for the purposes it was intended for, and that would be to provide emergency
Just looking for revenue to lower my taxes, it's a big number.
We're not
Now I
selling it.
understand
We
it's
wouldn't be-
towers.
And we wouldn't be selling it. It would basically be an even swap. We didn't pay anything for
Well,
it.
governments buy things. Never mind. My second thing is, I know there was a resignation on the budget committee, and that's an elected position, and you advertised for it, and there were no interest, but I've heard a little bit of interest since then. This is an important time in the budget process, and I wondered if the select board would entertain, if somebody came forth and was interested to serve out during this time of intensive work. Is that still something that's before the select board, or just gonna put it off till elections?
Well, it is an elected board, I believe we can appoint it. My personal opinion is because the board still has plenty of members to form a quorum, I personally wouldn't appoint somebody. I would let the town voters do that in March to fill out that term, but that's my personal opinion. I don't know how the other board members feel.
So if a citizen approached you and said, I'd like to serve, you would say, wait until elections?
Yes.
Yes. We can talk about budget, man. Yeah, no, that's, the whole purpose of that going out before was to have somebody ahead. We've already started that process.
Sure.
And,
I'm just thinking of getting somebody up to speed for the next cycle and,
if he was interested in running,
huh?
maybe the person would be interested in
Sure.
running.
And fulfilling the term or whatever. Just a question. I know that there's a lot of work and sweat that goes into this time of year in the budget.
There is, and again, my personal opinion is, when you do that this late in a season, people take it that you're trying to push a certain person or something for that position, and I don't want to, personally don't want to
Right,
see.
you don't want to be in the endorsing business, but at the
Correct.
same time, sharing the work is what I was looking at.
But we still got a pretty flush board, although the one that unfortunately resigned was a
He was
very
a very
good
strong
member and did a
member.
lot of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
so-
been the chairman before, he knew his
He was
onions.
doing a very good job.
Yeah, Absolutely.
You know, I encourage your board to stop and ask why he quit. You know, it's very hard. The first thing that you tell us is, oh, it's very hard to find somebody to run or to be on appointed boards. And then you gotta look at why is it very hard to find somebody to run or to be on appointed boards. If you don't back up those board members, then they're gonna quit and be done, and you'll lose valuable experience. I ran on the budget committee, I was on the budget committee for 3 years, and I quit because the administration would not let anybody run the budget committee. Wouldn't let the chairman run it, wouldn't let the members run it. It was, you know, under Ed's, and I'll say it's under Ed's regime, you were spinning your wheels to be on the budget committee, and 10 other people will tell you the same thing, that they were on it and quit. I wouldn't bother, I wouldn't waste my time to run again, you know. So back your board members too. Find out why they quit, and fix the reason they quit. My advice to
Anything
you
else
guys.
from the board, Shane?
No, I'm good.
Troy, you have anything? Anything else that you can think of?
No, I can't think of anything.
One last thing for public comment? Seeing none, entertain a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you all.